So I'm probably going to take this and make this video into a few different video segments to just get a full feeling between the XR200 and the TW200, just because I have not really test rode the XR200 at higher elevation to see how it performs. I've taken the TW200 probably up to 11,000 feet, and it did great. For the XR200, I've been riding it around 5,000 to 6,000 feet elevation, and I'm hoping the XR200 will perform great at around 9,000 to 12,000 feet. There's also another area that reaches 14,000 feet elevation, which is called Mount Antero. Now that is the true test to see how the XR200 does, since it is a straight climb to the top. And it's not really difficult, but it's more about to see how it performs and how it feels on this rocky terrain, and of course, you know, how it feels and the power loss at the 12,000, 14,000 feet elevation. To give you an example, the KLX250, it does great around, 7,000, 8,000 feet elevation, but it was not able to physically go. Like, I would give it max throttle and literally it would not go anywhere at this Mount Antero trail at 14,000 feet elevation. Anyhow, this is all about the TW200 and XR200. Two very similar bikes in terms of power, seat height, handling, ergonomics, but yet so vastly different, but at the same time can fit, it's crazy, the same group of users and riders kind of looking for the same thing. So I'm making this video more for awareness, like, hey, you're considering the TW200, but maybe for a lower cost or a different kind of riding style and possibly a bit more of an aggressive machine, there's also the XR200. And what makes the XR200 so unique compared to any other bike out there is that it's able to maintain its full-size dirt bike feeling, handling, yet be one of the lightest dirt bikes with 17-inch rear wheels and such a low seat height. There's no other bike like the XR200. Now, I made this video because I received a comment and I noticed, hey, you rode the TW200, how does that compare to the XR200? Because I've been making videos here and there with the XR200 because it's like my little play bike. I just like to have fun with it and stuff like that. And it hit me. I'm like, wow, I never thought of this. This will be a great comparison because not many bikes compare that well to the TW200. They are both unique to each other and to all the other dirt bikes out there.
Oh, pothole. Alright. I mean, it does have some kick. Keep in mind, we are riding in about, I think 6,000 feet elevation. 220 pounds too, so I honestly think the XR200 will definitely be a lot better. I think this is great for someone learning to ride for the first time ever. I teach a lot of people how to ride on this, essentially on this dirt bike here.
Now, I understand the TW200 is plated, but there are also many plated XR200s around here, and of course my emphasis is more towards off-roading. Remember, I live in Colorado, with which you can play even a TTR125. To me, these bikes are designed to trail hop anyways. But either way, not many bikes compare well to the TW200. The seat height is either too tall or it's much heavier, like the TTR125, and the TTR125 has more of a cramped feeling versus the TW200, and spec to spec they should be kind of more or less identical. Although they are about the same height, but the XR200, even me being 6'1", 200 pounds, the TW200 and XR200 rides perfect. It fits me great, not like an enduro bike, a full-size enduro bike like the KTMs and stuff. Now, for comparison purposes, these are not race bikes like the KTMs and the YZ250X, WRs, and so forth and so forth. Some obstacles I would never do with this bike, or even yet alone some hill climbs. To me, these bikes are more for exploring, putting around, solo riding, that way you don't really get yourself into trouble. But there's an exception. The XR200 does have a little bit of a wild side. It is hard to describe the feeling of these two bikes until you saddle up on them versus a full-size enduro. Yeah, hands down, the full-size Enduro gives you way more confidence to go faster, absorb hard hits, and tackle more extreme obstacles, while these two bikes give you more confidence that you'll be able to crawl this bike and possibly even carry these bikes over anything, with some assistance of course if you're solo riding. A perfect example, there's an area called Penrose Commons. There's a huge waterfall obstacles, and with an enduro bike I can't really like push it up or crawl it up, but with these two bikes, put it on first gear and it crawls right up, no problem. Me off the bike of course, but that's a perfect example of what I'm trying to demonstrate. The TW200 is an awesome putting around bike. I would label it great flooring, carrying gear, wanting to go slow, and it's like a super tank with crazy low end grunt. Like it just lugs perfectly down low.
Yeah, third gear on these kinds of trails is just definitely the place to be. You know, let's see how it does on this hill climb. Alright, second gear. Woo, tractoring up. Keep in mind I do weigh 220 pounds, so you know, this thing is a little lugger. It's fun, a very fun bike. This is, if I could pick one bike for exploring, definitely this one. Its speed is not a concern. Obviously height and all that stuff, but it's just so much fun. It's so short. You can really throw this bike around.
Now, the XR200 does like to be ridden a little bit more aggressive, or the proper way to say it is it lets you ride more aggressive. I would say with the XR200 you can hit rocks and obstacles with a bit more confidence and speed. However, the compromise is actually the lugging factor, and of course the cargo space. I personally think the TW200 lugs way better at any gear, but the XR200 quote unquote rides quicker, if that makes sense. If I were to saddle up, equip some camping gear, looking to pack in some gear pretty often, hands down, I'm probably going to go with the TW200 to go through the hassle of plating a dirt bike and this and that, since it already comes plated from the factory. However, if I really want to get into some really crazy, gnarly terrain, uneven angles, super weird drops, jagged type rocks, and just exploring the unknown, although the TW200 can easily do all this no problem, and can obviously crawl up some nasty obstacles with some assistance, I think the XR200 just does it a little bit better. The best way I can explain it is it's almost like a mini trials bike. Like it's just so light, so nimble, so maneuverable. If you get caught in this weird off camber place, you know, you can stick one of your legs out and maneuver it and balance it out and get over some weird obstacles, versus like a full-size enduro. That's why I love these dirt bikes. Feels lighter, it's easier to manipulate, and of course the full-size tires really makes a huge difference when getting over some of these obstacles. Both bikes though, I wouldn't attempt any sort of waterfall obstacles like this. At least at my current skill level. I'm sure Graham Jarvis and all these people, of course, they could probably get a TTR110 and they'll go up this obstacle no problem, but not me. I mean, these two bikes are going to be a hard choice to pick a clear winner. They actually almost feel identical in terms of suspension, seat height, fun of use, but I really do think the XR200 has a little bit more of a small edge when it comes to just overall feeling, handling, aggressiveness, and confidence when going a little bit quicker. But with the TW200, remember, it comes plated already. Smaller tires are a bit better on pavement and higher speeds too. And hands down, the TW200 does way better higher speeds, not just on pavement, but also on dirt roads. So say if you're going like 55, 60 miles an hour, I think the XR200 might feel a little squirrely at that point, and the TW200 might feel way better at that point. So it all kind of depends on the kind of trails you do. Since my emphasis is more for off-roading, you know, I like going towards tighter trails and stuff like that, then yeah, the XR200 will definitely shine, and I think it can fit the exact same category. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe you guys ridden both too. Let me know what you guys think, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video.